Alright, in this demo, I'm gonna show you one Spring Boot project which is configured with Logback and one weird behavior which is done by Logback. This is kind of advanced topic, but you can follow along as well, for your own knowledge purpose or whatever the reason you have. Okay, let me give you a very high level overview of logging frameworks which are very popular among Java developers. Okay, so there is something called Log4j. This is collection of APIs, and there are two implementations, and these are called logging frameworks. Okay, so Logback is one of them, and there is another one, Log4j2 as well. So what happens is these logging frameworks, they actually implements whatever is available in Log4j specification. Okay, and this is how they are able to perform the actual logging mechanism, and that's why it is called a logging framework. Okay, and the advantage of Logback is it comes by default pre-installed. I mean, it comes packaged with any of the Spring Boot project. Okay, and the demo that I'm gonna show you is related to Logback, not Log4j. Okay, if by the way, if you want to configure Log4j explicitly for your project for whatever reason, you have to actually explicitly tell Spring Boot to use Log4j instead of Logback. Okay, but this demo is mainly for Logback and its weird behavior which I faced. Okay, this was very high level overview of the logging framework. Let's keep this aside. I'll close this. Now let me walk you through this demo project, what it has, and I'll explain you the issue which happens, and then I'll tell you how you can resolve that. Okay, so this is a Maven file, pom.xml, and this is like a very high level project. You can say the minimal project. It has one endpoint. You can see the dependencies over here. It's just web embassy, that's all, and I have used Logback for annotation and plugins. It's like Logback related plugins, and that's all. Okay, this is the pom.xml, and I have one controller class which I have given this endpoint API log demo. Okay, and it has one endpoint over here. It's get mapping. It takes in 3 input parameters, and it has another service method call. Okay, so this is endpoint which we will be testing actually. And we have one interface called greeting service. Let's go inside here. I'll show you. It has interface like generate role over logs, and there is implementation of that. This is the implementation of that interface. It's you don't have to understand what is going on inside here, but what it does is it will create multiple log files at once. So this is for the demo purpose only. Okay, so the idea is when anybody, or I'm going to do in this case, if I hit this endpoint, I should be getting multiple log files generated. Okay, this is what it is inside this project. So let me try to run this, and then you'll see that some of the log files will be generated over here. Okay, so if I have to run this, I can use Maven command. Okay, so this is the basic command to run it, Spring Boot run, and then I have one extra parameter which is being passed over here. This is Logback related configuration that I wanted to actually see. So this is why I have this configuration over here, because the initiation of the Logback framework, it kind of happens even before Spring Boot is reading application.yml. Okay, So let me first try to run this, and then we'll generate some log files, and then we'll see after that, you know, what we'll be able to do it. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter, and then it is going to run the application. It already ran the application. Okay, and I don't have okay, so here you can see one log file got generated here. Okay, if I open it, it just says whatever we saw in the console. Okay, nothing fancy over here. So I'll close this. Now what I'll do is I only have one log file over here. Okay, so I'm going to call this endpoint explicitly using, we have something called this one, you know. So you can use your browser as well, because this is get method, or any REST client actually, you know. You can use Postman or Insomnia, or any REST client is fine, but here I'm gonna use this tool. Actually it's inbuilt inside the IDE as well. So if I'm going to click this, this is 8080 port where our application is running. So if I click on this, okay, this endpoint got hit. Okay, and now you can see two more additional log files got generated over here. Okay, if I hit again, two more got generated. Okay, so this is how the endpoint is working over here. Okay, now the next step is I'll show you the problem actually, you know, what happens. Before that, let me show you the configuration. What do we have inside our YML file. Okay, this is just the name, and I have some logging configuration over here. This is like root label, and then I'm setting over here the debug level of the logging, you know, inside this package. Okay, these are kind of normal stuff. Okay, now this is the main thing that I was trying to you know, kind of I'll be demonstrating that in this demo. This is the whole thing. Okay, so the main thing is if you look at this configuration, it says max file size 1 MB. Okay, and there is another thing called max history 30, and there are some other things as well, like total size cap and clean history on startup. I'll explain one by one. Okay, so max file size, it means 1 MB means whenever a log file exceeds 1 MB, you have to create another log file. This is called a rolling policy. Okay, so you saw these files, right? It was being created. So if we check the file size of these log files, it will be 1 MB for sure, you know. And because we have already told the Logback to apply this rolling policy. So if a log file size is 1 MB, it should create another log file. And how it is going to create another file? There is a file name pattern over here. Okay, so it is going to create every day, you know. So this is the pattern actually, you know. You already know this because this is kind of advanced topic, so you should be already knowing about this thing. So this is what it tells is every day you create a new log file. But what happens in a single day, you have like multiple scenarios where your log file size exceeds 1 MB. In that case, there is one counter actually, %i. So what it does is the file name itself will be with the same date, but the number will keep on increasing, you know, for the same day. Okay, and next day it will become another day. So the file name's day itself will be changed. So in our case, what is happening is 1 MB is being exceeded, and then we get another file. So if you see this, this is 5th of May 20th, right? So all are with the same day, but incrementing with the count 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this part is clear, I think. Okay, and there is another part called max history. So what it does is I have explanation over here as well. but I'll tell you anyway. So what it does is it will look at the file pattern, So currently it is telling the logback to actually roll over every day with the new files. Okay, so 30 here will mean that the maximum history that a directory can have for the logs is for 30 days. Okay, anything beyond that, we should not be considering that. We should be deleting it immediately. Okay, this is what it does. But there is if you want like hourly basis as well, then you have to change the pattern. So the value or the unit, you can say, of this property max history changes based on that. Currently we have day based rolling, so that's why 30 is days. So which means I have written over here as well, it will keep the last 30 files, and if we have like day based rolling, then it will keep the last 30 days file, okay, irrespective of the counter. So currently we have 1 2 3 4 files of the same day. Okay, so if you go back 30 days, it will not consider these 4 files as 4 days, it will only consider these 4 files as 1 day. Okay, so this is how it is going to work, and this is the total size cap of 1 GB. A directory should not exceed 1 GB. This is the configuration, I mean the attribute and the value. This is what the meaning of this is. Okay, and we have another property over here. It's called clean history on start, right? So every time this application runs, it has to actually search the log files which are eligible to be deleted. Okay, this is what it does. Now I'll show you on this demo actually. Okay, we have already created 4 files. Let's create some more. Okay, what we have to do is we keep on calling these APIs. This API actually created multiple files. Okay, this is enough actually. Now what we'll do is we'll rename one of the files, because currently if we rerun this, it will try to execute, but it will not delete any of the files, because it doesn't actually fall into eligible files which should be deleted by logback, right? Because 20th of May is still within 30 days. Okay, so explicitly what we're going to do is we're going to rename one of the files, and we are going to make it, let's just say 4, and we'll make it 25. Okay, so this is from April month now. Okay, and we are going to rerun this application again. So if I go to command line, and I'll just stop the existing one, clear the console, and I'm going to run it again. So my expectation is this file, whatever we renamed, it should not be deleted. Okay, if I hit enter, okay, and this file is still here. This is our expectation, because 25th of April still is within 30 days of time, right? So it is working as expected. Now what we'll try to do is we will rename this file to, let's just say, 25th of January. Okay, refactor. So 25th of January, this is obviously way beyond 30 days, right? So our expectation should be it should be deleted, right? Now what I'm gonna do is I will stop this, clear, and I'm gonna run it again. Okay, okay, it has run, and let's see. if I'm going to refresh, reload from disk, this file is still here. This is the weird behavior that I was telling you about. Okay, why this file is not deleted even though it is way beyond 30 days from now, right? The issue that I'm telling you, I mean, this is not an issue. I'm not sure. This is by design from the Logback. It has one internal class called time-based archive remover.java. Okay, so if you go inside this Java class, it has one hard-coded value called 32. Okay, and in our case, this 32 translates to days. Now you can go through this implementation, these are concrete classes, so you can go over their definition and everything, and then try to understand what is happening. But I'll tell you in summary what is happening. So if I go here, see what happens is, today is, let's just understand it with an example. Okay, so today is 20th April 2026. No, sorry. Today is May 20th May 2026. Okay, so if you subtract 30 days from today date, it will become 20th April. Okay, so Logback should not be deleting any file which is created after 20th of April. Okay, this is the expectation, but before that it should be deleting. But the thing is, because we already saw this 32 as a hard-coded value inside that class, right? So now what happens is, it only considers up to 32 days from this value, whatever comes up. Okay, so in our case it is 20th April 2026. So from this point in time, we will go back 32 days, and only those files which were created in between will be eligible for the deletion. Beyond that, it doesn't even actually scan, so this is how Logback is working. So to further actually clarify this thing, I have created one utility class called log retention info logger. Okay, so I have some of the helpful data which will be printed on the console, so that we can experiment more. Okay, so if you can see here, the last time that I ran this, it says approx startup cleanup search window. So it will only consider the files which falls in between these two dates. Okay, whatever is beyond these two dates will be invisible to the Logback. Okay, let's validate this theory, actually, whatever I'm saying here. So it says 19th in the March month, right? So let's rename one of the files. Let's rename this one. I'm gonna renaming it to 3rd. Let's check the boundary case as well, so I'm going to make it 18th of March. Okay, refactor. So we have this file over here. It should not be deleted if this is true, okay, because 18th is earlier than 19, right? So let's run this again and let's see what is the behavior. I will run this again. Okay, it is still showing as 19th. Let's see if it is deleted or not. I'm going to click over here. It is still here. Just to double check, I'm going to reload from disk. Still here. Now let's rename this to 19 and let's see. So I'm going to renaming it to 19, refactor, and let me stop and rerun again, and let's see what is the result. Okay, it is still showing March 19, right? Let me click over here. Our expectation is it should be deleted. Oh, you saw that, right? Now we don't have that file, so it got deleted. Okay, now let's test the uppercase as well, like the upper boundary. I mean, whatever is created up to April 19 will be deleted. After that, it will not delete it. Okay, so let me rerun, rename one of the file. I will rename this to April. Let's make it 20. Yeah. So it should not delete this file because it is within 30 days period that we set in our application.yml, right? Max history. Let me stop this and then rerun again. Okay, so our file should still be here. Yes, it is. Let me double check by reloading. It is still here. Now let's rename this to 19. Okay, and now let's stop this and rerun again. I'm going to rerun. Okay, our dates are still like this. Okay, if I click on this, it should be gone. Okay, now you saw that, right? It is gone now. So whatever I was telling you, I mean this window period, okay, only these files are visible to Logback, which are eligible for deletion, and this validates whatever demo that I'm trying to show you over here, So you can see this file, which I mean we renamed it to 25th of January, which is way beyond 30 days max history, right? Still it is there, Why it is there? Because of this hard coding value that is available inside Logback. So they don't actually look beyond 32 days. Now why this can be helpful? Because you might be thinking that you simply put in this setting over here, max history, and then it should clean up all the log files, all the old log files beyond 30 days, right? It doesn't happen like that, for whatever reason you're in production environment, this is very rare unless you're changing your the logging framework. Otherwise, sometimes it might come, and then it would be so bulky your log directory. So all the old files, maybe it is like 20 GB or 30 GBs of log files, which would be hampering the performance of your application because of these log files, and you simply try to put in this value and then it simply doesn't work and you don't understand why it is not working, and you manually go there and then delete those files. But this is what is happening in the background, why it is not considering those files. So how you can resolve this, so first of all, your production application will be running every time, by the way, this max history and deletion things, it gets triggered whenever there are a rolling mechanism happening for the log files. Okay, so it's we are setting this value over here. So on every startup as well, it simply actually try to look for the eligible files which can be deleted. Okay, this is a good setting, actually configuration that you can provide for the Logback. Okay, so whenever your Logback is actually rolling to a new log files, during that time as well it looks for the eligible files to be deleted. Okay, with the same principle in mind, 32 days limitation. Okay, so let's just say you have like very old log files. In the beginning, what you have to do is you have to manually delete all those files and make sure you don't have any files older than this 32 days limitation. Whatever is beyond that 32 days, you have to delete those manually, otherwise it will not be deleted by Logback. and Logback will take care of after then, you know, when you start to fit in these settings and then start your application. After that it will be seamless, you know, it will take care of all the old files and it will delete it and it will create new rolling files. So this is how Logback is working, you know. So it was kind of hitting my head why this is behavior, this sort of behavior of the Logback, you know, it didn't make any sense actually, you know. It would be helpful if Logback had provided some kind of configuration over here, you know, to say that up to how many days it should consider for the deletion, you know. That would have been helpful, but it's kind of hidden inside the their own, you know, like implemented class, you know, over here, so people will not actually know these things. Okay, so this was a very quick demo. I mean, it went longer than I expected, but I tried to cover many things in much more details actually, you know. So okay, I wanted to, in the last, I wanted to tell you one more thing. So this extra logging argument that you're saying, this JVM argument that I'm passing in, because to print in some extra information from the Logback side. So I'll show you that as well quickly. Okay, so if I scroll up, you see this part, it says active log file name and then it says deleting historically stale, and it gives you the exact file name with the path. Okay, if it doesn't find any eligible files, it will not show you the file name or something, you know. It will maybe show something like, we'll be having that actually because we ran multiple times, right? So it should be saying that no eligible file found for that setting. Okay, something like that. Let me try to find if we have such logs. Yeah, you see here, no removal attempt were made. Okay, so this is what you will be getting if files are not getting deleted. If you want to debug this in your own application, you can try this. Okay, because Spring Boot will not give you these kind of logs. So by this you can confirm if all those files was picked up by Logback for deletion or not. Okay, this is actually all for this demo. I hope it would be helpful for anybody who would be struggling for Logback configuration and their weird behavior actually.